Greetings, beautiful soul family. This is Tarun Hari from Transcending Matters, and you're here for another special Too Much to Talk About episode. And I am interviewing the one and only lovely Taytula from KTK Alchemy. Remember that name? And that name is going to ring Taytula from some truths to you like you've never heard before. Now, I've done a recent remember that name and that name is misunderstanding of yoga in the Black community. And I'm expanding that to the miseducation because the word yoga has been so abused, just like the word love, just like the word black. It's been abused. It's been abused. And again, sometimes we're so caught up in this idea of internal prejudice. And it's because of a lack of knowledge and a lack of willingness to understand why we fear people that are walking in the path that is separate from what we've been groomed into. Now, the shackles that we have to shake off, in my understanding, in layman's terms, I would call it colonial Christianity. It's a mindset that goes right across the masses. Colonial Christianity, and you fall for a set of ideologies, and that's it. You stay limited, you stay locked in a box, and it's full of superstition, and it's full of doubt, so much things, and there's so much richness in our history and our path of enlightenment. And when you see other people, especially from the younger community, hearkening and embracing this path, you have to salute them and say, yeah, this is where we want to sit. And the beautiful Taytula from KTK Alchemy has set such an example. I was looking online and I came across her stuff, meditations, sound bowl healing. Yes, she does sound bowl healing as well. And the plethora amount of things that she does, I thought, you know what, it deserves an interview, and let's have a deep dive into Taytula because trust me, she's gonna be around for a long time. So, Taytula, my dear, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am very, very, very well indeed. Happier to have come across you, myself in terms of I don't know, the space, the sparsity of practitioners and confident practitioners, dare I say. Um, Not just confident practitioners, but practitioners that are actually coming up with results that are changing people's lives. And you as have so much testimonies, so much richness in your story. You got to share it. You have to share it. So take us from the beginning. Who is Taytula? How did Taytula come into this world? You tell us the story.
Well, I was born, not hatched. So
Love that.
I was raised in a Rastafarian household. So I guess sometimes when people talk about this thing that they have to do about unlearning indoctrinations that are not, I guess, cohesive to the spiritual experience, so to speak. I didn't have to do any unlearning like those.
You are so lucky. I'm jealous. No, that's brilliant. Rastafarianism. Big up the Rastafarian them in the yard. No, serious. This is serious. So you stem from a Rastafarian background, which looks like what? What was your grounding in that setting?
Well, I was about to say actually that I would say that it was, if I can coin a term, neo-Rasta, because when you really think about it, Rastas, they do still read the Bible. There's still like things that are in alignment with Christianity and Judaism at the, I guess, the doctrine that they follow, but then there's this add-on where it is spirituality first more than the books and all of that
Yes,
kind of stuff.
absolutely. I'm
It's the
I'm with you.
Yeah, so then
It's,
they've built on that. So then there's the way of life. It's about exploration of self, it's about connecting to others, it's about
did you
uh
hear what she just said? It's the way of life. Continue, my dear.
yeah, so I feel like with the way of life aspect, that's where in my family it was more about um meditation, energy work, um finding ways to be balanced, oneness, but also togetherness. And I think from there, um, my own kind of exploration led me into stuff like astral projection, using meditation to manifest, crystals, all of that
Wow.
kind of stuff. And the
Okay.
reason why I say it's kind of like neo Rasta, if that's even a term that could be used,
Yeah, we've
is
got,
because
I'm making up terms as I go along. I'm coming up with this new philosophy of yogatizing everything. So go, go, go.
the reason why I say it, because I feel like it was still very, in my house at least, it was still very quite expansive. It wasn't blocked off and pigeonholed into certain doctrines, certain ways of being. Um,
That's beautiful. Let me jump in on that because I understand what it is you're trying to, or what you're explaining in terms of that biblical concept of Rastafarianism. Now, as far as the biblical aspect goes, it's really heralding the position of Selassie.
mm,
Outside of that, there are many principles, like you say, meditation, energy work, things like this. You don't find them practiced as modern Christians. You have to
no,
take yourself outside of the mindset of the modern Christian who's just following what do they call it, the 12 commandments as a basic line of existence. Whereas when you're dealing with meditation, energy work, oneness, and togetherness, these are completely different subjects. And when you go into understanding the esoteric principles of life and how energy actually works and how you can become sensitive to this energy, this is where you now cross into the realms of astral projection and uh, uh, working with your insight, hindsight, and foresight to develop the meditative mindset to get into manifestation work. So it's a very powerful precursor into what you've just explained, because it's not the labels. Don't even worry about the labels. You
yeah, because I
understand?
think you just explained it perfectly in the sense that like my background was perhaps more esoteric than it was theology, do you know what I
Yes,
mean? So it's like whatever doctrine you follow, there is always still going to be rules, regulations, and stuff that you could still stand slightly outside of. So that's why when I use the term neo, it's to say that um, I guess that was my family's bounding principles, grounding principles,
grounding
but they
principle.
was very um, fluid and flexible outside of that. Hence why I could
Exactly.
even go onto a path that I went onto eventually.
Wow, beautiful. So in your early days in terms of the parents and so forth, who was the strongest influence? What was the family setting like? So forth. Who was more spiritual? Was it mom? Was it dad?
I don't think I would compare it in that kind of way, but I was in the household with my mom. And my dad did also have like very, um, he was a great thinker as well. So even though he had his beliefs, they stretched far beyond the doctrine as well. So I think I was
Beautiful.
just fortunate to have that. They both were very um, boundary pushing, expansive
Mhm.
in the way that they think. Um, so yeah, I think it was just a combination of the two minds, essentially.
Wow. And is there any other people in your family that has hearkened on to spiritual works or had influenced you in your path towards where you are now today? Or would you say this is a full solo venture?
I wouldn't say it's full solo. I wouldn't say anyone is doing the work in the way that I am doing it. My mum is intuitive as well. Like she has her own gifts that we can kind of bounce off of each other. So it was kind of nurturing. Um, but no, I don't think that there's anyone really in my family that's in this space in the same kind of way as me.
So you've evolved.
I've accepted my gift. I think is
Well,
the
this
best
is
way
what is
to put it.
supposed to happen. Evolution is to take
Yeah.
place. We're supposed to outgrow that the nest where we come from and become. Otherwise, we'll become extinct before
Mm,
uh, time. And there is the saying that, the younger generation as they come in, they're becoming more enlightened or more understanding to the path of enlightenment because they're more easier to put all the dogma aside.
mm,
And again, you're saying you was blessed or, you didn't have to go through a certain level of indoctrination.
mm. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I gotta go to hell and these things are
No, those things like there was no fire and brimstone in my house. There was nothing like that. There was just the understanding that you walk um you walk in the light and you know that what you carry in your
I
heart
love that.
bring out in front of you and what you attract back essentially.
So you was always told you walk in the light.
Yeah. Like there's nothing else that we can do apart from that. That was I guess if there was anything that I could take away from both conversations with my mum and my dad actually is that they were always okay with me exploring because as long as you're walking in the light, it's cool.
Beautiful.
There's never going to be anything wrong in what you're doing if your heart is clean and you are essentially doing it from a place of connecting with the higher, connecting with others, and connecting with yourself.
So let's talk about this because let's go deep because you said something really poignant and a lot of people overlook this. When you say keep your heart clean
Mhm.
and your energetic resonance for you to do what you do, how important is that? And what does that look like as a whole for um, self-maintenance?
I think that with people, when we talk about being clean-hearted, people tend to think about, I'm not bad mind, so it's fine, kind of thing.
Right.
People have regrets, they have things that happen in their life, all of the kind of things that would like weigh you down. The judgments, and sometimes it's not always outwards, it's the judgments that you can make of yourself. People sometimes spend so much time beating themselves up and they don't realize that what they're doing to themselves would be catastrophic if they was projecting it outwards, but they're treating themselves in this kind of way. Do you get what I
Oh,
mean?
gosh.
People's self-talk, their self-care, um, all of those kind of things. And so to me, keeping your heart clean is not just your treatment of others. It's like, how are you treating yourself? Like, how are you showing up for you? How do you talk to you? Like, you might ask your friend, have you eaten today? Have you asked yourself, have you eaten today? Are you doing those basic level things that shows that I care about you as a person? Like you are my first love. Like
Wow, come on, man. Jesus Christ. This is esoteric basic 101 stuff. Like that changes everything, doesn't it?
yeah, Yeah, and I think a lot of the times people, like I said, they're so concerned with are they kind to others, but they're not kind to self, and that is still, I don't want to say being a bad person, but you can't treat yourself in the ways that many people have been treating themselves. And so then they show up and they need services like from people like me and you, because it's not always life has beat them down. Um, it's that they continue the beating after they
Yeah,
received it long ago with how they treat themselves, you know?
it's serious stuff. This is very serious stuff, people. I mean, I'm consistently screaming about this stuff, and it's mind-boggling. I mean, so and I just want to step back because all of these things are so important to the abilities to things like astral projection and clairvoyance and clairaudience and all of these things. It's like the center core stone. If you don't have that, nothing is going to work. It just won't work. And you can talk to yourself and think that you're being clairvoyant. But there's a big difference when you really trust the process of meditation and you go into meditation, especially to amplify the sensitivity of consciousness. And I'm sure you must have done this to be able to talk about was this an easy flight for you? Like from, you just found yourself on the path and you said, yeah, it's all go, I've got this. Was there any times that you thought, okay,
No. So I think I took it for granted that I was able to do certain things. And I think it's because I hadn't studied to do them. They were just things that I knew how to do, like I knew how to breathe or I knew how to walk, those kind of things. And then um, they were just cool little things that I knew how to do. But then there came a time in my life when I couldn't access them the same way. It's like something got switched off. And then when that happened, it's like,
did you hear what she said? She knew how to breathe. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I just don't want people to miss out some key nuggets. Key nuggets. You knew how to breathe, you knew how to walk, and then you you lost it. This is
yeah, yeah, it's like something got switched off. Like there was I won't go too much into it, but like a life event that really left me quite downtrodden. Basically, I was kind of like just a smear of my former self, essentially. And then as I was building myself back up, there was just this part that was missing. It was almost like my energy source or my fire or it's like, I describe it like, in the boiler where
yeah.
when the boiler's on, the flame is blue.
Yep.
But then when it's not working properly, the flame might be orange, it's like really dim and stuff. So like I had a flame, but it was orange. I wanted the blue
Okay.
one back.
You went all right. See,
So I
then
had to like, then it was like a steady process of now I'm becoming a student of these things and just trying to collect myself and gather myself back up as I was before.
wow. So you wow. So you felt you knew of yourself.
Mhm.
And then you went through a period where you lost the essence of being.
The essence of being in as much as like um I knew how to use energy before. I knew how to project. I knew how to meditate. I knew how to breathe in certain kind of ways. I knew how to do those things, but not through, they came natural.
Right.
Um, so then when those things didn't exist anymore and I couldn't access them, I have to learn how to do them. And I think the learning gave me a better understanding because then you have to, nothing that you do is by accident anymore. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, you're
Absolutely.
making a conscious effort. Each time you use that piece of like spiritual technology, you're using it's a conscious effort that you're making.
Absolutely. A conscientious effort.
at
Yeah.
that as well. And the level of intentionality just changes everything, you know?
Wow. So what did you dive into learning to enrich your sense of getting back your blue flame?
So I'll tell you the order that they went in.
Okay. Okay.
So first I started meditating again.
Good
Um,
groundwork.
and then from there I started on energy healing. So I learned Reiki. I became a Reiki Sechem. Sechem is like a
Powerful.
yeah, it's a Kemetic form of Reiki. So then I became a master teacher in that, crystal therapy, breath work, and then theta healing. So it's basically bringing people into like a theta
Yeah.
brain state,
Yeah. Yeah.
making commands, clearing stuff out. Once I learned that, I was like, well, I might as well learn hypnosis. Um, and then I moved into sound. Um, Tarot and numerology first and then tarot because essentially once you learn these things as well, it becomes addictive because there's like a thread that
Yeah.
runs through all of them. And
Yeah. You
once you
want to
learn
peep
that,
and look. Yeah.
yeah, once you learn one of them, you see, you maybe reading a reference book and it may allude to as per this, and then you start reading about this and you're like, I need
Yeah.
that as well. I need that. I need that. Um,
Beautiful. It's beautiful. This is what you call the willingness to learn. Don't stop learning. Keep learning. I mean, I've come across some things in my past of learning, and it's like, should I read that? Read it, man.
yeah.
Read it. I first came across what was known as the Devil's Bible. And when somebody said there's a Bible for the devil, I'm like, what? Yeah, you can find it online. I was joke. I said, should I have a look in there? Let me have a look on the first page, at least. And the first thing it says is one of the commandments is that the devil doesn't want to work with no idiot. What is this? No idiots. It's a sin to be an idiot. And this is so knowledge opens up your minds in so many ways. There's a thing called the Nuwabi way, which is, let's say this book is a container. It's a container. Inside the book are pages. The pages are mediums. Mediums is a medium for transferring information. In the information, there's letters and words in all different scrambled ways. And that's another deeper set of mediums. Another deeper set of mediums. Now you're reading the media, you're reading it. It's what your intellect is making out of the information. Your information and your intellect now is now creating a synergy. Now it's down to you now to take what's foolish, dash it away. What's useful, use it, practice it, see if it's any use for you. If it's any use, then you keep on to it. If it has no use, you dash it. This is how you grow in any and every aspect of your life. But somewhere along the line, again, colonial Christianity or the colonial mindset as a whole has stopped people from learning. When we are children, we learn 5,000 words a year. Now we're adults, we can't even learn 5 words a year. Think about that.
Yeah, and I think for anyone that's into chakra work as well, like you can't be working on your chakras and not learning. Like I think people they think meditation and now I'm in my higher chakras, but like your third eye is all about perception. So you need it's not just perception like for like that. It's also your understanding of information, how you perceive what's around you, and the crown is about accessing knowledge and stuff. So you need to be learning to fuel and feed, exercise those chakras. I had a I had a thing where I made it so that I would learn one new thing each year.
Wow.
One new thing, and it doesn't even have to be, it wasn't even necessarily spiritual. you know, it could just
Yeah.
be to sew or to do this or to do that because it keeps you, once you keep learning, you get hungry
Listen,
for more and you start feeding yourself and then you open up to more things. Like people try and meditate but they can't even visualize because they don't even have like a scrapbook of visual information that they can tap into. You need to.
it's crazy because just like what you're saying there, um, learning last year, I decided to teach myself swimming.
Mm.
After so long of being fearful of getting in the water, I said to myself, you know what, stop this foolishness, learn how to swim. And I'm taking myself down to the swimming baths and learning how to swim. And I tell you, it's the most powerful thing I have ever done because not just learning how to swim, you learn so much about the body, you learn how unfit you are, you learn so much things that you have to take care of just now to learn how to swim. So there's it well, it compartmentalizes. If you're using your awareness and your savvy, you know, you don't just go, okay, I'm not fit enough. No, you learn how to get fit. You learn how to change your diet. You learn how to adjust and tone your whole being now so you can learn how to swim for a long period of, you know, so like my swimming, I'm pretty proud of myself. Like, and it's all about the learner autonomy because if you don't strengthen your learner autonomy or your learning skills, you're going down. It's sorry to say that because the world is consistently learning and we're fighting AI's learning speed. We don't necessarily have to think about taking on AI, but that muscle of learning is so important because learning encourages remembering. And without learning and tapping into things that you remember to create the neurological change, your brain starts to die. This is how Alzheimer's and dementia kicks in faster than anything because you're not learning. Anyway, let me just stop the talking, please, because this is such a powerful, oh, revelation.
And I think it's also like learning is, you may think that you're studying a particular thing, but you're studying yourself, like you said. And a lot of people, because they're stuck, because they're keeping themselves in a situation where they don't even know where their limiting beliefs are, because they're not getting triggered by anything. They've plateaued, and so they don't know where they need to heal. They don't know what wounds from childhood they still hold. They don't know what relationship things they have. They don't know what fears they have about the future. Um, and because a lot of those things live in our body as well. So when they're not confronted with these things on a daily basis,
Hmm.
they don't realize that, okay, when I think about this, I get a pain in my kidney. And then, so it's like your kidney issues may not be uh
Physical,
physical. It could
it's
be
metaphysical.
psychosomatic. It could be
Like,
like energetic, spiritual, and you need to start clearing stuff out. And so that's why I always encourage people to explore as much of the world or themselves as possible because it's mirrors to you constantly. You're being confronted with yourself. And if you just keep yourself in the same place in front of the telly or whatever, you're never going to meet yourself in a way that's conducive to health going forward, you know?
wow, wow, powerful. Come on, man. Come on. Have you, listen, spot on. You see what she's talking about at the core is scientifically known, is bracketed as homeostasis. And just by the way how you think or lack of thinking then, lack of thinking, you're damaging this process of homeostasis within yourself and you're expediting your death. Hello. You're shortening your life. Hello. You have to address these things. And it's so beautiful to hear someone from the younger generation eloquently. put it in such a way that resonates beyond the truth of a pastoral Sunday afternoon ceremony talking about you have to give your heart to the Lord
But you know what? I think
and
you
become a Christian and bless the pork.
because you mentioned my age, yeah, I think where I noticed that the most is when I started doing energy work and I started working on women that were much older than me. And
Oh,
I could
wow.
literally feel the grief, the bitterness, the resentments, the heartaches, the all of this stuff in their body, particularly the womb space. And so it's like whenever I have younger clients, I'm like, you need to sort this stuff
Quick.
out that's in your life
You
because
don't
I'm
want to end
telling
up like
you,
that.
yeah. And I think like a lot of women that may be older, um, your pain, it doesn't need to stay embedded in your cells. Like maybe sometimes I think particularly with Black women, there's this thing that we have to be strong, and that strength is actually weakening us because you're walking around absorbing everything. And the
That
what I
strength
found,
isn't built off of joy.
no, it's built off of obligation, it's built off of shame, it's built off of loneliness, sadness, um, and people are cracking under it. Like you see people and they'll be able to show this face that is fine. But like I said, as soon as I start feeling people's bodies, when I read their numbers, when I do tarot, like they're always so shocked that these things can be seen. And it's like, because you may have like poker face, but energetically your body is always going to betray you. Your body is like your lie detector.
Big time. Big
Yeah.
time.
Your body won't lie for you.
No, not
You
at
can
all.
lie on your body, but your body won't
You
lie for
can't
you.
lie. It won't. It won't. You understand? That little lean thing there you go on.
And people think that these things are nothing. And so when I'm working on people and I say, oh, I can see this, or and they're like, how did you know that? And I'm like, it's literally
So
etched in your body.
in your posture, everything,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And they don't realize how oxymoronical it makes them energetically because there's a yearning to be something, to attract something, to represent something. You know, everything opposite loneliness, everything opposite, I want to be in a loving relationship. I want to be, but energetically, they're so far away from that.
They're riddled with,
I, I'm now, let's be fair. Let's be fair here. It's not just the women,
no, not at all. It's men.
not at all.
I
It's
think
not just the women.
I think the reason why I experience it in women is because women show up for healing more than men actually do. So it's like actually the women come um and they want to resolve things. Men, I find that most of my male clients, they've got a woman that loves them, whether it's a sister, a mom, a girlfriend, a friend that nags them into it. And then they show up and then they're like, oh, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
been seen as well and I need to get these things cleared out. Um,
They're not turning up on their own accord.
Not typically. I think
And
one of the things that I've noticed with men, their issue is that they try and logic and reason things away, which is cool because you can come up to with a solution for stuff, but those solutions don't move the remnants out of your body.
yeah, no,
They
logic and
resolve
reason
things
don't cut it.
mentally, but they calcify in your body. Tumor,
Absolutely. Logic and reason
Yeah.
don't cut it. And I can say that from experience. There's it was logic and reasoning where the answers weren't coming out through logic or reasoning that I said, you know what, I need to go a little bit deeper. This is what sent me to the Himalayas in the first place. Otherwise, if I just worked with the logic and reason what the Western society was giving me, I would have turned a madman. Dare I say, I would have probably been suicidal.
Mm,
So I had to step away from the conditioning and the programming of that quote unquote perception or the stereotypical image of a black man that was so pumped out the narrative, either you're bad or you're gone, so are you this or you that. There's different sleeves, but never in the space of wellness or in the space of spiritual groundedness. And I thought, you know what? Let me just take a different stance to this whole thing and see what difference that makes in terms of educating myself about who I am. And I'm so glad I did that because I got in touch with my feminine side. I got in touch with my emotional side. I got in touch with my instinctive side. I'm not afraid to use the word love. I understand what love is, and I understand how to develop proper interconnecting relationships where it's not just based on logic and reason. I understand loyalty, trust, and these things. And it's because I took a whole different view on what consciousness is at the core, not just what the shell is,
hmm
the physical body, not just the shell. That's just an expression. You're something greater than that. You
hmm
understand? This is just a finite expression. Consciousness is infinite and carries both the energy of yin, yang, masculine, feminine, and you have to be able to attune and align them. So if you don't address the feminine aspects, i.e., your emotional, your intuitive, your insight, these things are feminine traits because these are the things that lead you towards expression and interconnectedness rather than just being the observer and the taker.
Yeah. And being able to nurture yourself. That's where the self-care comes in because I think people don't realize that to be energetically balanced, like if you're a man, you need to have like 65 to 70% masculine energy and the rest has to be feminine. And the same is for women, but in the reverse. So there is still quite a large part of you that inhabits the opposite of you. And so I think people get too bogged down in being in their divine masculine or being in their divine feminine and they don't realize that both of them need to exist in you and you need to be able to reach for them, draw for them, blend them together
Mhm.
as well, to function productively, you know.
Exactly. I mean, if you want to look at it from a scientific point, even from where Vedanta says it, or expresses the ability of consciousness to even talk, that's a feminine trait
Mm,
because you're expressing. How do you nurture that? How do you nurture that self-talk, much less? Just like Taytula said in the beginning, there's so many things that are out of whack within us because we don't show or have any regard for that side of us. And that very same side of us could be the side that's eating us out, eating us out. So man them, listen, call Sister Taytula, but now deal with her. No, I'm joking.
No, but you know what? I
I'm
think
only joking.
I really do
I love
enjoy
my
working
brothers.
with
So
male.
say that
Yeah,
again.
I enjoy working with male clients because just how energy feels in the body is different.
Mm.
Um, and I think because men are traditionally more skeptical of this kind of stuff,
Yes.
when you see them experience it and they're like, oh, okay.
Yes,
Was a
wake up
thing.
call.
Like, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, every time.
Mm,
Um, and this is the powerful thing about authenticity. And when you're in that mode of intent to heal through consciousness and through interaction with others, and if whether you're using the science of maths, the science of energy. So when I say maths, you can't go, the whole universe is mathematical.
Mm.
And that element of randomness is, again, a mathematical calculation. And that randomness is what could be considered a miracle or a wake up shock. Just when you think things are going your way and the rug gets pulled out from underneath your foot, you thought you had it all sewn up. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. The universe can randomize you in a hot second. So it's very important to watch what you put in, especially to yourself, because that's the first level of computing to the universe and telling the universe what outcome you're looking for. And I'm sure you've gone through all of this in your process of transforming from when you felt you lost it and you dived into these areas to get back that feeling of being you.
Yeah, and I think like some of the techniques I use are because a practitioner used them on me and they were so transformative. Like I was
Mhm.
like, I have to have this in my arsenal, basically. Um, that was like with the soul contract readings, like understanding why I said I wanted to come here in the first place, just
It
based on
gone bad. It gone bad now, people. Sit down good. So sit down good. Well on to your chair now. Yeah, what she just said. She knows why she's here. Please. Powerful.
yeah, so like a soul contract reading, it's a numerology reading, but it's based on your name. And it's based on the premise that actually our parents don't name us. We give them the name that we want to have because that name carries a certain vibration and the numbers associated with it will have different experiences. It will um, dictate the challenges that you're going to have in life, both on a physical and a spiritual level, the strengths, your goals, like, and what your true soul purpose is essentially. So, like, when I look at these readings, they're so accurate that when I do them for people, I can see if they've experienced domestic violence, abuse as a kid, their career paths, if they're likely to cheat, if they're faithful or not, um, some
Wow.
diseases,
So the
autoimmune.
name alone and birthday, you can tap into the contract. You can pull up the contract saying, yeah, I saw you still.
And like it happened to me when the person was doing, I was like, okay.
Mad. I'm gonna give you my name. I'm gonna give you my birthday, and I want you to tell me what's in my contracts. Not now,
Yeah,
but
because
that's
that's
interesting.
it's something really important as well because I feel like a lot of people they change their name along the way and they change the vibration of them and sometimes that vibration works for them and sometimes it doesn't. So you'll even find sometimes when people get married and they change their last name, their life changes. And it's like, yes, because I'm married. And it's like, maybe it wouldn't have affected you so much if you kept your name. Not saying that that's what people should do, but these are the kind of influences that are around us. And then that's
Mhm.
layered with your star sign and stuff like that. So just energetically or
Yeah,
cosmic, I would
it's
say,
funny because I
cosmically.
say that. I mean, from I was initiated with the name Tarun Hari from the Radha Kund, which is considered the most esoterically vibrant place on the planet for these types of things. Anyway, I have to say the resonance of that name, how I've represented myself under that name, what's transpired through that name is it's amazing. It's
Mm,
it's it has been an amazing shift. It has been an amazing shift. Now, previous to that, I was under my you know, birth name, Trevor Davy, that name got a lot of respect. I done a lot of good under that. I've always been a good person. Um, However, in stepping into different territories, different areas, different music things, I used to be a music producer, still am. But changing my name from Trevor Davy to Prefix One, that was a powerful move. So understanding the power of pseudonyms and their resonances in certain fields and so forth, I started to get and understand that. But principally, the best name that I've energetically found myself under is the current one, Tarun Hari. It means the well-wisher of all. It means forever young. It means always victorious. It means there's so much to it that it makes me feel like that, even without like, it was like the other day, I said, what is your name? I said, Tarun. I said, oh, Tarun, you're always victorious. Nothing will ever stop you. I was like, didn't even know that. So don't you find this? I was like, yeah, actually. You can swim across all troubles. Keep going. You're good. Tarun, very good name. I was like, wow. So I was like, yeah, okay. So names, resonances, they do have and I do prefer it to Trevor, even though I must have picked the name Trevor in the first instance. But I think Tarun has been a good upgrade energetically. It'd be good for you to do the check my contract under.
Yeah, because when I think of names now, I don't even think about what the name means. I just look at the numerical signature of the name. So the name could mean gold,
Anything.
God, whatever, but that name could be come with some really, just by the numbers alone, come with some really hard lessons, some
Yeah.
really like all of these things. So for me, when I'm unpacking with people like their name and all of that kind of stuff, it's not the name, it's the numbers that their name represents. And so
So yeah, I understand that because imagine to always be victorious means you got a whole heap of battles to go through. You got some battles to go through. You understand? But I mean, wow. So let's get back to your story, not even story, your span of expansion and so forth. You've got KTK Alchemy, which is your company online with the services that you offer. When did you start KTK?
Lockdown, so 2020 actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been about 5 years now. And I guess through that time, it's developing a signature way of working. Because I think for me, a lot of people they go to practitioners that would perform a service on them and then they walk away and they don't know what to do without ever coming back to that person. So for
Mhm.
me, like I try and do a kind of from
Oh,
X-ray. The X-ray is like the tarot or the numerology through to like
the aftercare.
the aftercare, the treatment, the aftercare, the empowering people to be able to show up for themselves because I guess it's it's flattering when someone keeps coming back to you, but sometimes for the things that people come back to me for, I feel like maybe I haven't done my job properly because you shouldn't have to come back for that, or maybe you didn't realize that I gave you a key, or so now what I do with clients, I have this thing, it's basically like a spiritual strategy service. So they come, we figure out what's wrong, where they're trying to get to, and then weekly we plan how are you going to work with the moon? What limiting beliefs are we going to clear? what meditations do I need to create for you that will help release some things or empower you in certain ways. We do challenges so that people want to manifest things, for example, more money. And I'm like, but do you have a business idea or do you think you're just going to trip over money? So it's about also making
Appropriating yourself.
yeah, making sure that someone has a plan that they can test that the work is working. You know, it's not just me saying abracadabra, you're fixed. Like
Yeah,
you need to have something in place where you can be like, okay, so now I've tried to show up in this space. My anxiety is limited now. I'm more confident. I'm more magnetic. But you will only know that if you try to do a thing. So.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about you pass on the information and how can they adapt and also build up the discipline to stick to it.
Essentially, it's like using the tools in the real world because I think a lot of the times people think that spirituality is just something that you do, you turn the lights out and you just go like this
Like
and
the
you just like
candles up.
meditate, but they don't know how to do the things in the real world. They will wear crystals because someone told them the rose quartz will open their heart, but they have never really properly understood what does it feel like for my heart to open. And actually, now that I know that rose quartz does this for me, maybe I can get a collection of crystals. And now that when I'm trying to feel like this, I will bring this one with me, or like making sure that people, it's like having a toolbox
Hmm.
looking inside the hammers for this, the screwdrivers for this, the pliers is for this, and just making sure that people have the appropriate tools to use at different
Yeah,
times.
people don't really understand the level of, the sensitivity of energies.
Mhm.
And that shift, um, it really does make a powerful difference to your magnetism, your or your lack of it. The worst thing is what a lot of people can't understand is when you lack magnetism, you become repulsive.
Mhm.
And some people can't detect how repulsive they are. And they blame everything else in the environment and won't address their level of repulsive unto themselves, to the environment, that bitterness, that what do they call it? Pet peeving.
Mm. No.
And all of these tendencies that drain your ability to take care of your energetic vortex. And from moment to moment, with every breath you take in alignment with the thought that you're thinking is changing the whole dynamic structure of what's happening in your auric field.
Yeah, and I find particularly with people that have perhaps like stepped away from a religion and they're entering like this kind of space, religion gave them structure. They knew what they were supposed to be doing at certain times, and then they enter this space and they're just presented with like a platter of like techniques, technologies, like things that they could use, and they've never been showed a cohesive way to use them for their particular goal that they have in mind. So that's what I try and help my clients with, and just set them up and say, okay,
So
this is your routine and ritual to get where you
it's
want to get to.
peak, it's peak. So let me explain something to help you out in what you're expressing. In Vedanta, there's a selection of works called the Kama Sutra. Now, in it coming over to the West, the Kama Sutra was tantrified and focused on just the sexual element. Now, when you look at the original Kama Sutra, we look at the two words karma, action and reaction, sutra, the verses on Kama Sutra. And the Kama Sutra covered 64 areas of your life, not just one, not just how many times you pray, 64 areas from education, entertainment, creativity, politics, money management, all of these things. And there was a thread through it, a thread of divinity, how you keep yourself aligned and divinely aligned so your mortal and immortal aspects of life can level out and you can blossom and flourish. And these Kama Sutras slowly dwindled into arts, but at the core of it, there's 64 aspects of your life that you have to take care of to keep your energy balanced at all time. And it's not just praying. There's more to it than that. You'd be so shocked when you take off the sheaves of just this limited concept of thinking and see how much energy work you have to do. First, with the heart. Second, with your root chakra, your stability of being. Third, your learner autonomy. How willing are you to learn? Not even talk about unlearn. Learn, just learn. And see how powerful new information can change your whole perception, your whole interjection, your whole connection, your whole process of amplifying who you are, and your ability to manifest what you desire. Is it's quite simple when you look at it as a mathematical formula. And it's so beautiful to hear Sister Taytula just talk about chunks of it in certain aspects so you can see a bigger picture. And, some of your heads might be going, God, God, did she say tarot? Did she say this? Did she say numerology? Them saying these things are the devil's works. And these things, meditation, and these things are you open up. No, these things are telling things about the things that are wrong with you from an energetic point that you can't even see for yourself. How about that?
Yeah, and I think that's the reluctance that some people have with like stepping into this space for healing. But I would just say that um if you ever hit the brick wall where you've tried all of the ones that you think are allowed for you and you still haven't experienced the breakthrough that you are looking for, it may be time to get a little bit more esoteric with it. It may be time um to
So
tune.
not to even sort of put you in a pigeonhole to say, okay, she does tarot. Because if you go to her website, the plethora of things that you do from sound healing, from meditation. I've listened to some of it. We can't fall asleep on astral projector for your meditation. You exactly know the energy of communication when you're dealing with energy blockages for your energy. Because again, you have to understand it's not just words. The directives that really associate and align with these energies that you actually are. You are energetically a stack of energies that finally make you who you are. You're not just one thing, you're many things.
Mhm.
And cleaning up and clearing out certain aspects of things that you weren't watching. This is where Sister Taytula has come in and knowing and recognizing it within herself. This is another thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Like that ability that you had when you got the ability to switch on and your blue flame is on.
Mhm.
How sensitive did you come to other people's minds, thoughts, feelings, your
Yeah,
clairvoyance, your clairaudience?
I think that's one thing that I had to do is like I had to learn to switch it off actually. Just because it's nice when it's nice, like I could be on the train and there's people that are in love and you can feel it and you can see it and it's like really nice and you can kind of get a little taste of it. But then there could be people that are going through some real tough times, like they're laden down with stuff and you just get sucked and drawn into that.
Empathetic.
Yeah. And I guess even visitors with messages and information, like I had to coach my guides myself that I was only at work when I was at work, unless it's an emergency. Like, I don't want you, don't be sending nothing, no information or anything like that. Because also,
You're out of office. Love
I'm
that.
out of office and I don't want to just always be speaking to people and then knowing their business or picking up things about them. Like, I'm more perceptive than most naturally. And
Hmm.
because of that, and because of the other stuff that I got going on with me, I trust my intuition and I trust my perception.
Hmm.
But that doesn't mean that I'm doing a read on a person, if that makes sense. I'm not
Hmm. That's
constantly
right. Yeah.
in and tuning in because it's like touching people. I don't want to touch everyone, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Too much info
Yeah.
there.
So I had to learn to just kind of,
Put up the barriers,
yeah, put out the barrier.
boundaries.
And I wouldn't even say a barrier. I would say I decide when I tune into the frequency or not. So
Mm.
it's always, I don't like to consider myself blocked. I don't, um, it's rare that I will receive any type of spiritual or psychic attack.
Hmm.
Um, these things don't happen to me typically,
Hmm.
although there have been times.
Well,
Um,
the thing is, people don't even know when they're getting a psychic attack. And most of the times when you're not doing these works, the amount of psychic attacks people are getting, like
do
we
you know
can go
what's
into that. That's just,
the one
oh,
thing I will say on this though is that I get sometimes two types of client. The
mm,
type of client that is convinced that everything is spiritual, psychic, someone's put something on them, and it's like, no, bro, you're just blocked. You're refusing to make changes. You're self-sabotaging. Um, you're doing all of these things to yourself,
hmm.
and they would never accept that. And then
Yeah,
you have
there is that in
and
terms
then you
of,
have the other type of client that is, they are literally in the midst of spiritual warfare and they don't believe in any of that kind of stuff. And there's nothing that you could say to them that would make them realize or believe that this is what is happening to them. And it's like,
yeah, it's the blind spot, isn't it? It's always the blind spot.
and it's how you perceive the world. And I think sometimes people think, I don't believe in this kind of stuff. That stuff only happens to people who believe in it, which is cool if that's the stance that you want to take. But then when you have all of these unexplained things happening to you, you're going to the doctors, they don't know what's wrong. Like everything in your life around you is popping down. There's no logical explanation for it. It's time that you consider that you are part of uh, a much bigger game, for want of a better
Hmm.
word, and there can be other things at play.
Yeah, let's go energy, frequency, vibration. Let's
Yeah,
start there. Let's look at these. Yeah, I mean, it's the sound bowls. It makes me laugh. Sometimes I get some of my brethren them past you and they say, "What you doing them bull there? And bull they look like Dutch pot." They say, "Stand up in a one of them," and I put one of them on them standing there. I put one on their head. Then I'll take the one for the heart chakra. Boom. Within seconds, they're crying.
mm.
Yeah, within seconds. What, what you just, what you just do? Yeah. Some of them run out the pan. Then you see them want to run out because you know it's going to take them. Oh, God, that, why I feel something that's up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Don't laugh. Don't play about, man. These things is not, this is very serious stuff. And again, I have to commend you for being brave enough to say, you know what, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to change the world one by one through my services. At such a delicate time, 2020, the world was just suffering through that, what was it called? What's that thing called again?
that one,
Certificate of valid, was it?
that one.
Certificate of vaccination ID. And the younger people, the amount of suicide, the amount of stress that it caused on our younger people suffered the most. Because they must have grew up through the aftermath. You understand? And there was a separation that was already happening energetically between the older and the younger people already. in our community that needed. So, Sister Taytula, listen, you are such a powerful representation of truth, and I only want to like just commend you on the work that you're doing. I want to give you as much support as you can. The Nexus Essentia event that we've got coming up on 20th of July, I would love you to come down to come and meet the community so they can be embrace your energy in it. Again, the community there, the age range is from early 30s all the way up to um, a good age, and everybody's feeling young and energetic there. Let's put it like that. And it will be beautiful for you to come along. Would you like to come along to the Nexus Essentia event?
Yeah, I'll come along.
Yeah. Come and have a laugh. You'll enjoy it. It'll be beautiful. And the, I think we should dive in deeper into the elements of what you're talking about. We've literally just brushed the surface in many ways. We've tapped into a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And it does warrant a good examination, A, to give people a little bit more insight, teach them a bit, give them a little bit more inner trust to trust the process. And I think hearing it the way you've eloquently expressed it, I'm a little bit of a, some say that I'm a bit of a bully. I don't believe that at all. Do you think I'm not like that, am I?
You get your point across
That's
in the way that it needs to be
yeah,
put.
I lack diplomacy in certain areas. I think that's my stance on the truth. Diplomacy can have you leaning towards supporting the lie a little bit. And I
Mm.
don't want to stand on that side because I can see how much damage it's done to us. You understand? The truth hurts, they say, and I've felt that truth for myself. And if I didn't adjust to the truth of what really is, rather than subjective truth, grow, learn, expand your mind, expand and embrace the key word in terms of disciplining yourself to care for who you are about. And it's beautiful the way how you express these key component, fundamental things that people should have as their energetic signature as a core. You've touched so much things. We've got to go into it. We've got soul contracts to talk about. We've got energy. We've got the Reiki side. The Reiki side is so, I mean, a lot of people still don't understand the principles of Reiki, and it's a very powerful thing. Again, your sound healing sessions and your meditations,
Past lives.
past life, my gosh, whoa, past life regression. People, well on man, sit down good, well on tight. Past life hypnotherapy. She's also a hypnotherapist. These are all the same lanes that I found myself diving and delving into and mastering. So it's beautiful to see someone who's come up in the field and say, "Yeah, man, may I take this?" and is doing really well. So, is there anything that you want to leave people with who's listening to this interview?
Just that if you don't feel the best that you think you could feel, or you feel great and you want to find tools for maintaining that,
Because that's
continue.
important.
Yeah, like you need to enter into some sort of practice, like, and with regularity, it has to be something that you do in routine. And maybe sometimes you need services to go a little bit deeper to brush up on things, but ritual and routine is your friend when it comes to wellness.
Powerful, powerful. So, go and check out ktkalchemy.com. Find out everything about this beautiful sister. It's worth the time, it's worth the effort. Come along to Nexus Essentia. I'm also going to be getting her on the retreats. She sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. I can retire soon. This is amazing stuff. Jesus Christ. This is brilliant. It's been wonderful having this interview with you, my dear. And I'm looking forward, dare I say, to having many more. We've got to do more. We absolutely have to do more. Absolutely. Um, you're stalwart in your approach. You're a wealth of knowledge. You're appeasing to the mind. You're warming to the heart. You're a beautiful soul, and
Thank
you allow people to reach their life's optimum vibratory energy. This is what it's about. And it's been a beautiful experience sharing this time with you. I feel good within. I feel really good. I feel lovely. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling inspired, and I'm sure you leave everybody feeling that way when they connect with you. Look at that beautiful smile. Come on, man. It's worth just it's beautiful. Beautiful. This is life. Find your way of life and find out the elements in your life that could need a bit of tune-up, brush up, so forth. Sister Taytula on many levels is willing to sit down and work. You heard she's worked with elders and younger generations. She's out there doing the work to tell the younger generations, don't make the mistakes our parents, our foreparents, and this is evolution. We all make mistakes, but we have to learn, hold up our hands to these mistakes and correct them, conscientiously correct them, because if we don't, we'll be back. Reincarnation, another soul contract, back again. I'm sure, ain't you tired of this? So, beautiful people, we are going to leave it right there. Stay blessed, stay beautiful, stay on the best side of being you. Hit that like and subscribe button and look out for more things. Ashe, namaste.
you.